Florence and Giles is narrated by Florence, a 12-year-old girl. It is a curious story I have to tell, one not easily absorbed and understood, so it is fortunate I have the words for the task. If I say so myself, who probably shouldn't, for a girl my age I am very well worded, exceeding well worded to speak plain. But because of the strict views of my uncle regarding the education of females, I have hidden my eloquence, under a bushelled it, and kept any but the simplest forms of expression bridewelled within my brain. Such concealment has become my habit, and began on account of my fear, my very great fear, that were I to speak as I think, it would be obvious I had been at the books, and the library would be banned. And, as I explained to poor Miss Whittaker, it was shortly before she tragicked upon the lake, that was a thing I did not think I could bear. Blythe House is a great barn, a crusty stone mansion of many rooms, so immense it takes my little brother Giles, who is as fast of limb as he is not of wit, 3 minutes and more to run through its length. A house uncomfortabled and shabbied by prudence, a neglect of a place, tightly pursed, my absent uncle having lost interest in it, leaked and rotted and mothed and rusted, coldly draughted, dim-lit and crawled with dark corners, so that, even though I have lived here all of my life that I can remember, sometimes, especially on a winter's eve, in the fadery of twilight, it shivers me quite. Blythe is two-hearted, one warm, one cold, one bright, the other shadowy even on the sunniest of days. The kitchen, where the stove is always burning hot, is jollied by fat Meg, our cook, smiley and elbowed in flour, often to be found flirted by John the manservant, who seeks a kiss but is happy to make do with a floury smack. Next door, with a roaring fire 9 months of the year, is the housekeeper's sitting room, where you may find Mrs. Grouse either armchaired and sewing, or desked with a puzzlery of papers, trying, as she says, to make head nor tail of things, and what seems to me contradictory, to make their ends meet. These two rooms together make one heart, the warm. The cold heart, but not for me, not for me, beats at the other end of the house. Unloved and unvisited save by me, the library could not be more unlike the kitchen. Unfired, cool even in the burnery of summer, freezing in winter, windows darked by never opened thick drapes, so I have to steal candles to read there and afterwards scrape their guilty drippery from the floor. From one end to the other is 104 of my shoed feet and 37 wide. 3 men could stand upon one another and scarce touch the ceiling. Every inch of wall, aside from the door, the draped windows and their window seats, is wooden shelving, from floor to ceiling, all fully booked. No maid ever ventures here. The floors are left unbroomed, for unfootfalled as they are, what would be the point? The shelves go unfingerprinted, the wheeled ladders to the upper ones unmoved, the books upon them yearning for an opening, the whole place a dustery of disregard. It has always been so, apart from the governess times, of which more anon, leastways as far as I can remember, for I first made my way here a third of my lifetime ago when I was 8. We were then still ungovernessed, because Giles, who is some 3 years my junior, the one the teaching's for, was considered too young for school, or indeed any kind of learning. And we were hide and seeking one day when I opened a strange door,